Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be looking at some applications of sine rule in bearings and distances, in calculating bearings and distances. The first question in this exercise says, a point X is 34 meters due east of Y. So this will be X. You understand? This will be Y. You see, 34 meters due east of Y. A point X is 34 meters due east of Y. The first thing we have to draw is our Y. North, east, south, west of Y. Now it says that point X is due east of Y. So the line will go this way. So this is where X should be. X is due east of Y, 34 meters, meaning this distance to the east of Y will be 34 meters long. It now says that there's a flagpole which is on a bearing of north 18 degrees west of X. Can you see that? A flagpole. Let's represent the flagpole by letter F. The flagpole is on a bearing of north 18 degrees. This is the north of X. This is the west of X. And this is the what? East of X here and south of X here. It says the flagpole is 18 degrees west of X. So from north of X towards west, we're to measure 18 degrees. It is on that axis that the flagpole is located. Can you see that clearly? It also says that the flagpole is what? Is on north 40 degrees east of Y. It says that the flagpole is on the northeast of Y. So that means from Y, I'm going to read north 40 degrees. So 40 degrees here. This will be the axis of Y on which F is located. I think we can manage that line. Can you see that clearly? Northeast of Y. Let me make this long. So I'm measuring north towards east. This is the north of Y. Let me clean this. This is the north of Y. This is the east of Y. This is the south of Y. And this is the what? West of Y. So the flagpole is on the, axis of Y, which is north 40 degrees east. So I'm measuring from north towards east, just 40 degrees. So my 40 degrees will be here. I don't need all this. Let me clean it. Exactly. I've marked it here. So I think the question now says that we should calculate the distance of the flagpole from Y. The question says calculate the distance of the flagpole from Y. So this is the distance of the flagpole from Y. This distance. That's what we want to find. So let's call that distance. Okay, let's not call it any name now. Let me just go ahead and figure out the remaining angles. If this is 40, this will be what? 50, because the angle between north and east is 90. Can you see that? The angle between north and east is 90. So if this is 40, this is what? 50. Take note of that. Also, this is 90. We already know this is 90. The angle between north and west is also 90. But if this is 18, it means the remainder is what? 72. Can you see that? 72 degrees here. So all I need to do now, I know this place has 72. I know this place has 72. I know this place has 50. If I need any more angles, I can easily get this myself. Can you see? If I call this place, let's call it theta, just temporarily, I can say, sum of angles in a triangle is 180. So this is a triangle. F, Y, X is a triangle. So the sum of angles in a triangle is what? 180. So that will help me get my theta. Let's mark this place theta. I can easily get theta if I say theta plus 50 plus what? 72 is equal to 180 degrees. Sum of angles in a what? In a triangle. Sum of angles in a triangle. So theta plus 122 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. So theta is 180 degrees. Theta is 180 degrees minus 122 degrees, which gives you what? 58. So that means this third angle, that means this third angle in the triangle is what? 58 degrees. I can take out that theta. I don't need it anymore. I am now looking for this distance x from the flagpole to what? To y. So how do we get that? Very easy. Let me draw the triangle again. I can just draw the triangle here. Draw the triangle here. That makes it easy for me to use my rules. Although it's not compulsory, but it's a good practice to do this. Away from the rough sketch, it's a good practice to always draw another diagram out, which is neater. Y, x. So I'm looking for this distance. I'm looking for the distance of the flagpole from y. This distance from the flagpole to what? To y. Now, how do I get that using sine rule? I know this place as 34 meters. So all I need to do is using sine rule. Sine, I'm looking for x, so I can say x over sine x. X over sine x is equal to what? F over sine f. I think you know that this is side f. So that tells us that what? X over sine 72 is equal to f, which is 34, over sine 58. If you look at this very well, this helps you easily get your x. X sine 58 is 34 sine 72 degrees. So x is 34 sine 72 degrees. X is 34 sine 72 degrees over what? Sine 58. So you use that to get your x. Get it yourself. After getting x, you can now say therefore the distance, you say the distance of the flagpole. Your answer should be in words. It's a good practice. The distance of the flagpole from point Y is, then you put the value here in meters. Okay, that ends number 1. Let's go to question 2. Question 2 says, a man walks due west for 4 kilometers. He then walks on 197. How far is he from the starting point? Okay, a man starting from a point like this. Let's say this is the starting point S. Now, from that starting point, this is the north, this is the east, this is the west, this is the what? Sorry, this is the south, this is the west. You will see he walks due west 4 kilometers. So that means he walked on this axis. So it will not be appropriate to place our starting point here. Let me try and move it to the right. So my diagram will make more sense. East, north, south, west. A man walks 4 kilometers due west. So let's mark 4 kilometers here. Hold on, let me try and make that neat enough. Okay, 4 kilometers due west means he walked on this axis. 4 kilometers. So you can put 4 kilometers here. Let's make S the starting point because he started from here. Now, the question says, on getting to this point, he walked on a bearing of 197. So let's read 197. This is 0, 90, 180. So 197 will be somewhere here. So as you can see, the question says he then worked on a bearing of 197 degrees. 197 degrees will be somewhere here. Let's just mark it and make it. So he worked on a bearing of 197 here until he was southwest of his starting point. Now, this is the starting point. After working on a bearing of 197 degrees, this angle is what? 197. Altogether, this whole angle is 197 degrees. So that means you must know that this small part is what? 17. So that small part will be 197 minus 180. If this whole is what? 180. Sorry, if this whole angle is 197, and we know this one is what? 180. If you take 180 from 197, you get 17. So he worked on a bearing of 197 until he is exactly southwest of the starting point. Southwest of the starting point means that on getting to this final destination, okay, let me draw that better. On getting to this final destination, he is now exactly southwest of the starting point. If he is southwest, that statement southwest means the same thing as south 45 degrees west. Because southwest means exactly midway between south and west, which is the same thing as south 45 degrees west. Because you know that the angle between south and west is what? 90 degrees. The whole angle between south and west is 90 degrees. But when we say southwest, we mean exactly midway between south and west. So that means on getting to this destination point, is now exactly south. Let me use this. It's now exactly south 45 degrees west. So I can put 45 here. You understand? It's now exactly south 45 degrees west. So that means this remaining angle 2 is what? 45 degrees. Exactly. This remaining angle 2 is 45 degrees. So I think our diagram is taking shape now. Okay. I think I know this too. I know this very clearly too. This is 90. If you add 90 here, this is 90 here. If you add 90 to 17, what do you get? The whole angle here will be 90 plus 17, which is 107 degrees. I think our diagram is taking shape now. Let's say this is the destination or its stopping point. Let's say it stops there. Let's just mark it P. Let's just mark this point P. So, how do you get the angle at P in that triangle? How do we get it? You understand? Let's say this is the midpoint of its motion. Or just a middle point in its journey. So what are you going to do to get P? I will say the angle at P plus the angle at M plus the angle at the starting point is 180 degrees. Sum of angles in a triangle. Put your reason in brackets. It's compulsory, please. So I don't know the angle at P. So I'm going to say P plus 107 plus what? 45 now is what? 180. So that means P plus 152 is what? 180. If you get P plus 152 is 180, it means P is equal to 180 minus 152. That gives you what? P is 180 minus 152. What is 180 minus 152? That's 28 degrees. So the angle here is what? 28 degrees. So we know all the angles in the triangle now. Can you see? This is my full triangle. This is my full triangle. Starting from here. 1, 2, 3. And what it means is that I know the three angles in the triangle now. 1, 2, then 3. You may need to watch this video once or twice, or pause it anytime you see or think that something is not clear, and rewatch. That will help. Exactly. So the question says I should find the distance from my starting point. This is my starting point. So this is where I stopped, or where he stopped. So I need this distance. Let's call it small letter m, since we have used S, M, and P for our diagram. So what it means is that, let me move this 4 kilometers to the middle more. 4 kilometers. Okay. So that's my rough diagram. I can draw a neater one now. I can draw a neater one that I will use for my solutions. So M 107 degrees, 28 degrees, and what? 45. I need to write that one. 45 degrees. So this is small letter m. I call this place, we call this place P and this place S. So using sine rule, I know this as 4 kilometers. But this is exactly what I'm looking for. The distance of the boy from the starting point, or the distance of, what's the name? The man from the starting point. Let me quickly explain briefly again. It says a man walks 4 kilometers due west. So assuming that the man started moving from here, this place has north, east, south, and what? West. It has what? North, east, south, west. He walked 4 kilometers due west. So that means from this starting point, he walked 4 kilometers here. Now, on getting to this point, he changed his direction. He stopped moving due west and changed his direction to move on a bearing of 197. So that means from this place, you are going to read 197. Yeah, the direction for the next movement is 197 on this point. So how do you read 197? This is how you read 197. So you will get what? You will get 17 for this small corner after subtracting 180 from 197. So 17 plus 90, this 90 here, this is 90. Let me make that another pen. This is 90. So if you add 90 to 17, you get what? 107. That's how we know that the whole angle here. That's how we know that the whole angle here is what? 107. So I know 107. So he moved on a bearing of 197 this way until he is exactly southwest of the starting point. When he's southwest of the starting point, that means from the starting point to this place, the bearing of the stopping point from the starting point is what? Southwest. That's south 40. Southwest is the same thing as south 45 degrees west. So you put 45 degrees here. This remaining angle in the triangle will also be 45. Now you know 45, you know 107. That can help you get this as what? 28. Then you can take it to your triangle and start finding what you need. This is P, this is S, this is 4 kilometers. So we are looking for M. We are looking for the distance of the man from the what? Starting point. The man is now here, but we want to find his distance from where he started. So that's a simple thing to do. Let's just use our sine rule. So what did I say? Using sine rule. What does that give us? P over sine P, okay, is equal to M over what? Sine M. That's a simple question. P is the side facing angle P. So that's 4 kilometers over sine 28 is equal to M. Side M is this. M is the side facing angle M, and angle M is 107 degrees. So you cross multiply. What do you get when you cross multiply? M sine 28 is equal to 4 sine 107 degrees. So M is 4 sine 107 degrees over what? Sine 28. So you press your calculator, get your M, it's going to be in kilometers. Say, therefore, the man is so kilometers from what? From his starting point. You put the answer in the space provided. You can finish it yourself, okay? Let's go to question 3. What does question 3 say? It says a girl starts from a point A and walks 285 meters to B on a bearing of 078. Let's interpret that straight away. A girl starts from a point A. Let's say this is point A and walks 285 kilometers. This is 285 meters. Meters, not kilometers. He walks 285 meters on a bearing of what? 078. 078 will be here. Senior, I hope you can get this. On a bearing of 078. You can put it inside if you like. If it will show better outside, put it outside. This is the bearing of what? 078. Now, you know how I have read 078. I read 078 from here. Reading from 0, I read 0 to 78. So that's how we got our bearing marked 078. Exactly. Now the question says, she then walks due south to a point C, which is 307 meters from A. She walks due south. So that means on getting to this point, let's say I call this point B. I think it's been called B in the question. Okay, to B, a girl starts from a point A and walks 285 meters to B on a bearing of 078 degrees. So it started from A and walked 285 meters to B on a bearing of what? 078 degrees. So this place has already been called B. So it says, the question says that it then walked on a bearing of, okay, it then walked due south. Now, from B, this is due east of B. This is due west. This is due north of B. This is what? Due south. Let me mark that again. This direction is due east of B. This is due west of B. This is due north of B. This is due south. So the question says he walked due, let's call this place northeast, south, west. So he walked due south of A. So that means he then walked in this direction, due south of A, until he is what? Until he is 307 meters from A. Until he is 307 meters from A. 307 meters from A will be somewhere here. 307 meters from A will be somewhere here. So, I think our diagram is complete now. So this is point C. He walked due south of B to what? He walked due south of B to point what? To point C, which is what? 307 meters from A. I think that's the distance, okay? Excuse me. I think I've lost my page. Okay, 307 meters from A. The point C where he now arrived at is 307 meters from A. So mark that. Point C is 307 meters from A. The question says you should find the bearing of C from A. So that means we need this bearing. Mark my angle. I need this bearing. This is the bearing of C from A. Can you see the logic? This is the bearing of what? This bearing is the bearing of C from A, because I'm supposed to read that bearing at A. I can mark it anywhere I like. I can mark it like this too, if I don't want it to look too big. That's the bearing of C from A. And it also says we should find the distance BC. We also need this distance. Let's call this distance small letter A. This place will be small letter B. This will be small letter C. So straight away, this is 78. Look at my hand. This is 78. This will also be 78. Alternate angles are equal. They are like this to each other. 78. This is what? 78. This is also 78. Can you see that? So if this place is 78, this place too is what? 78. Alternate angles are equal. So let's mark that straight. 70 what? 78 degrees. Okay. After marking that, I'll just circle it to show that I'm the one who put it there. It was not given. After marking that as 78, I think I can get my distance A now. Okay, or before we do that, let's go ahead and find some angles. Can we? Okay, let me check very well. Now, if you look at this question very well, this place is 78. So it means 90 minus 78. This will be what? 12 degrees. If you look at that very well. Can you see that? That place will be 12 degrees. I can use my sine rule to get this. Let's call this place angle C. I can use my sine rule to get angle C. I don't even need to mark it C. It's already there. C. It's already here. So let me find angle C. We are going to need to find this angle. The angle here. We need to find this angle here. We need to find it for our solution to be easy. So to find that angle, let me redraw the diagram more neatly. Okay. A. Let's redraw the diagram. A. This is point A. B. This is point B. Then let's make this place C. Okay, I think I made the A too big. Let me reduce it. Point A. Then point B. Then what? Point what? Point C. So I already have this 78 degrees. I have this 285 meters. This will be side C. This will be side A. This is side B. What else do I have? I have this 307 meters. So I think I have everything I need to finish the question. First thing I want to get angle C first. So let's go ahead and do that. Using sine rule. What do I write? Using sine rule. B over sine B is equal to what? C over sine C. B over sine B is equal to C over sine C. So 307 over sine what? 78 is equal to what? 307 is here, sine 78 is here. 307 over sine 78 is 285 over sine C. It's as simple as that. Is what? 285 over what? Sine C. So I'll cross multiply. When I cross multiply, what do I get? I'm going to get 307 times sine C. I think I should write my multiplication sign here so it doesn't confuse you. 307 times sine C here. 307 times sine C is equal to 285 times sine 78. is equal to 285 is equal to 285 times sine 78. What does that give you? That will give you sine C. That will give us sine C is 285 times sine 78 all over what? 285 times sine 78 all over 307. So that tells me sine C is what? I think we should use our calculator here. 285 times sine 78. Calculator. (285 times sine 78). Okay, let me use this. Let's change this to degrees. 285 times sine 78 is equal to, divided by 307, 0.9081. So sine C is 0.9081. That means angle C itself will be arc sine. Angle C itself will be arc sine 0.9081. So let's get angle C. Arc sine 0.9081. Okay, inverse sine 0.9081. Inverse sine 0.9081. Okay, I think I didn't do that one. Sine 0.9081 inverse sine. I'm coming. Let me impute that again. Oh, let's just reload. Inverse sine inverse sine 0.9081. Okay, I'm sorry for this. 65.24. 65.24 degrees. Let's approximate it to one decimal. 65.2 degrees. Now, 65.2 degrees. Let me write that here and mark it. 65.2 degrees. I'll just circle it to show that I put it there. It was not in the question. So we need this angle now. We need to find this angle now, which is angle A. And that's easy for us. We can just use sum of angles in a triangle. So A plus B, angle A plus angle B plus angle C is what? 180 degrees. Angle A is what? Okay, it is the one we are looking for. Angle B is 78 degrees and angle C is 65.2 degrees. Everything adds to give 180. Sum of what? Angles. Sum of angles in a what? Triangle. Sum of angles in a triangle. So angle A plus 143.2 is 180 degrees. So angle A is 180 degrees minus 143.2 degrees. What does that give you? 180 minus 143 is 37 minus 0.2, that's 36.8 degrees. So angle A is 36.8 degrees. Now, if we know this whole angle, what it means is very simple. If we know this whole angle as 36.8 and we know this part as 12, so the rest will be what? The remaining part is going to be what? 36.8 minus 12. And what does that give us? 36.8 minus 12. What does that give us? That will give us 24.8. So this part is 24.8 degrees. So knowing that part will help us get our bearing of C from A. You understand? Because that means, okay, I don't think we even need that. We don't need to find it separately. We just need to find angle A. Angle A is what? 36.8. This angle is 36.8. So to get our bearing, I just need to add this angle to 78. That's all. I'll add this 36.8 to 78. That will give me my whole bearing of C from A. Can you see that? That's the bearing of C from A. The bearing should be read from A or at A. So the bearing of C from A is this what? This 78 plus this 36.8. That's what gives you this whole angle. It's as simple as that. So let's go and write that down. Therefore, the bearing of C from A. The bearing of C from A is what? Is equal to 78 degrees plus 36.8 degrees, which gives you what? Let's add that together. 0.8 degrees, 6 plus 8, 14, 11. So the bearing of C from A is 114.8 degrees. Now, it also says we should find BC. Let's take that as question B and take this as question 3A. We are also asked to find this distance, BC, the distance of B to C. We are also asked to find this distance of what? B to C. So how do we get that? That's represented by side A. That is represented by side A. So all we need to do is what? All we need to do is B over sine B using sine rule. Using sine rule. You don't need to write this all the time. I'm just writing to remind you. A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. What is A? We don't know it. Sine A, that's sine 36.8 degrees. B, we know it, 307 meters. Sine B, that is sine 78 degrees. Never mind the way my S is looking for the sine. So what do we do? Cross multiply. A sine what? 8 times sine 78 degrees is equal to 307 times sine 36.8 degrees. So what does that give us? Angle A is 307 times sine 36.8 degrees divided by sine 78 degrees. So that will give you your answer for A. And that side represented by A is the same thing as BC. A is the same thing as side BC, which is whatever you get here, just copy it here in meters. That's all. Use your calculator to finish that yourself. I'm going to send you, some questions to answer as your classwork. Let's just stop at these 3 examples. We'll continue in the next video.